What's up? I'm B, and whether you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to the podcast, I hope you are having an amazing day. I am so excited to be here with you today, reacting to a video that I thought was long gone. I thought it's been erased from internet history, and I'm sure it's somewhere, but I don't know how to find it, and so it's lost to time. Until I got a DM from one of you. So, on TikTok, I've been doing these internet history videos about Brittany Dawn. Typically on like Instagram and TikTok, it's more like personal content, day in the life, get ready with me's, and then every now and then I've been like, oh hey, here's a hot topic that I have an opinion on. Well, I had a very strong opinion on Brittany Dawn posting a dumb video saying, I like my country like I like my coffee with ice. And so I made a video where I was a little bit worked up that she would say that, especially as a Christian. And it turns out that there's quite a bit of interest in Brittany Dawn, and a lot of people who didn't really have any idea about the details of some of her past controversies. So that has sparked this internet history series. When I was making a video about the state of Texas suing Brittany Dawn, I had mentioned, she made this original apology video. It's deleted now. I don't know where to find it, but you can hear her dryer clanking in the background. I don't know exactly what she said, but like, here was the general spirit of the message. And I just thought it was lost to time. But red_flamingo_22 came through. You DM'd me a link to a Reddit post that contains her original apology. So I thought it would be fun, since we're in the middle of doing this series right now, to put out a YouTube video where I react to that original apology video. I will link it in the description box. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and do Win for the Week, and then we will jump right in. If you are new around here, a win for the week is just where you share something positive that you would consider to be a win, big or small, whatever it may be. If it made you laugh, if it made you feel grateful, if it brought you joy, if you consider it a win, I want to hear about it and celebrate with you. I selfishly am going to share 2 wins just because I'm very grateful. In my last YouTube video, I talked about how we've got some decent medical bills from my husband's recent below-the-knee leg amputation, and so I was going to be like monetizing my social media a little bit more seriously. And since then, I made my first sale on TikTok Shop. And I made like my first commission from being an affiliate for the Little Milk Bar. So I'm so grateful. Like, seriously, thank you. There's literally no pressure to buy anything or like spend your money. So many of you have said like, oh, I can leave your old videos on in the background if that helps. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so like sweet and touching that you would even think to do that and be like, oh, here's how I can help somebody. Here's how I can help B. And the fact that like, you just know me on the internet. Like, you don't know me. You don't have a reason to care about me or my finances or how we're doing, and you offered to do that is just so sweet. And to whoever bought through one of my links on TikTok Shop and bought stuff from the Little Milk Bar, thank you so much. It really means a lot, and I'm just so grateful. And on the note of the Little Milk Bar, I love this company. I love this brand. I will not promote stuff that I don't believe in. I buy from the Little Milk Bar. I'm gonna say all the time. I wear my stuff from the Little Milk Bar all the time. I've bought a bunch of stuff from them. I have the Frankie tank, the Alley bra. I have different t-shirts from them. My mug that I use pretty much every day is from the Little Milk Bar. And so when they approached me about being an affiliate, I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, I love your stuff. I didn't even know you guys had affiliates. Yes, please. And so now that some of you have started buying from them, it's like, like, what a blessing. What an incredible thing. That's all I have to say. I'm done. We're going to move on. I want to hear your win for the week, and I cannot wait to celebrate with you. You can leave it in the comment section down below if you're watching this on YouTube, or in the comment section for this particular episode if you are listening to the podcast on Spotify. Okay, now having said all that, it is officially time to react to Brittany Dawn's deleted apology video.
Hey guys,
Hi.
I'm not really sure where to start this video. I am scared to film this video.
Mhm.
There's some things on the surface that have come to surface, that have come to fruition, that need to be addressed. And so I'm here to do that, and I'm here to put everything to rest once and for all.
Okay, I just realized I didn't really intro what this apology was for, and I feel like if you're watching this video, you are probably aware. However, if for some reason you have just found your way here and you're still watching, hello, this is Brittany Dawn. She had a fitness business several years ago that sold customizable meal plans and like workout programs, and turns out, even though a lot of these programs were promised to be customized to you, your needs, and the outcome that you want, they were very much cookie cutter templates. People were not getting the personalized attention that Brittany Dawn was promising them. And when they would reach out for support or with questions or with complaints, they were largely ignored, or they received, again, general cookie cutter responses. People would reach out and be like, hey, I'm struggling with this. And the response would be, you're killing it. And when people were like, if people got the programs that were not working for them or that were not like tailored to their needs, and they were like, hey, I want a refund on this because you didn't customize it to me and what I want, they would either be ignored, they would be offered partial refunds, or they would be offered a refund with the stipulation of signing an NDA. So people were concerned about this. Brittany Dawn, at the time especially, was promoting herself as like an eating disorder warrior. And so there's actually a picture, I'll put it in here, of her wearing a shirt that says like ED Warrior Brittany Dawn Fitness, and like showing that she was marketing her services towards people who struggled with eating disorders and then not caring for those people in the way that she should have. And so people were really upset. There was even, oh gosh, what was I going to say? It's just like half popped into my brain. Oh, I was going to say she was selling like digital services and charging people for shipping. So like there were a lot of sketchy things about the business in general. And when people were calling her out for it, they were not getting a response. She did not care. She just kept doing what she was doing. She would later say that she was in over her head. She was overwhelmed. She, was like the first person to kind of do this sort of business. And so nobody was there to teach her how to do it. She was marketing, she was content creation, she was accounting, she was customer service. She was all these things. And she just got in a little bit over her head, and she can't be held accountable for that because she just made a little whoopsie. But it's like, if you knew you were overwhelmed and like the volume was too great for you to handle, we probably should have put a pause on selling new products. Just my thought. So anyway, a fellow YouTuber, Cassidy Campbell, went to a convention that Brittany was at. He confronted her. He dressed up as this character of a person whose daughter had been scammed by Brittany. And he went and he called her out, and he made a scene and made a video about it. And then in that video, he said, like, Brittany has been selling these programs. They're not customized. The product is not delivering to what she promised it would be, basically. And this caught a lot of people's attention. Brittany is going to reference people being very upset with her and sending death threats. That is, of course, not okay. Never okay. You should never say anything like that to anyone ever. But having been on the internet for like as long as I have, I feel like we see people use this as an excuse to avoid accountability. Like, they will say, people have said horrible, awful things to me, and as a normal, like, empathetic person, you'll hear that and want to feel bad for her and be like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. I can't believe someone would say that to you. And I feel like sometimes when people do that, they use it as a way to brush what they did under the rug because you're so lost in feeling bad for them because of the horrible things that some people have said. But let's keep in mind, like, Brittany ran her business in a way that was not honest. Brittany sold products and then did not deliver on what was promised. Brittany ran her business in such a way that she was sued by the state of Texas and had to settle. She ended up settling for $500,000 in fees, fines, restitution, and paying legal fees. I believe that if she follows the repayment schedule in the way that the state wants her to, she will be the $100,000 roughly of legal fees will be waived, and so she'll end up only having to pay $400,000. But like, she she did things so wrong that the state of Texas sued her. And so let's keep that in mind. And having said that, let's get back into the things that have come to fruition, to the surface.
I did write a statement, and so I'm going to be reading that, but I'm actually filming this video the same day that it's going to be going live, so I'm not going to be doing any edits or anything of that nature. I am just here with my heart on my sleeve, and I'm here to put everything, like I said, to rest once and for all.
Once and for all.
I
And you know what? That's what she did. She did this video. She addressed everything. It satisfied everyone on the internet. It made everything right, and we never talked about it again.
apologize to anyone who feels like they got scammed from me, and I genuinely promise that my intentions from the start were pure. I wanted to help and impact as many women as I could because I felt like this is why I was given this incredible platform. When you're given an opportunity like this, you would be stupid not to take it and run with it, and unfortunately, I ran too fast for one person. These claims are coming from years ago after I got launched into a business that took off so fast that I didn't know how to mentally handle it. I did what I knew to do to the best of my ability. I didn't know what I was signing up for simply because being an influencer and running a fitness influencer business was not really a thing back then.
Here's the thing. I don't think Brittany started her business with the intention of selling bunk products, because that's what we're going to call it. She promised you one thing. She said, I'm going to tailor this to you and your goals, and it's going to be amazing. You're going to get this like super personalized experience. You're going to have access to me. You know, these plans ranged from like $90 to $300. And I don't think that she thought, I'm going to sell a product that people are going to be unhappy with and they're going to want refunds for, and instead of helping them out, I'm just going to keep that money. But I do think that she loved having a big platform. She loved the popularity she had. She loved the money and the views and the attention and all of the things that came with it. And I feel like she kind of thought, well, I'm not exactly like doing my best here, but I don't know if she ever really was taking these personalized plans that personally. I feel like she probably had a couple of, like, this is purely speculation, but I feel like from the beginning she probably had like a couple of different templates and was like, okay, like tell me about your goals, tell me what you want, what's your starting weight, what's your end weight, like your goal weight. And then she might like do a couple of tweaks here and there. And in her mind, she was like, well, this is helpful because like not everybody has this. I have these templates. I can customize them to you and you can achieve your goals. And then as she grew and grew and grew, she just kind of went with that same model. Again, this is purely speculation on my end, where she wasn't like truly tailoring something to you. It's like, I've got these different templates that I use depending on what your goals are. And then as she had more and more customers, she just got a little bit sloppy and like didn't really care about truly customizing it because she probably wasn't doing all that much customization in the first place. So I don't think she started out with bad intentions, but I don't think that she was putting the care into this business that she should have been. And yes, social media as a career is still on the newer side of things, but that's not an excuse. Like, just because you're one of the first people in this industry doesn't mean you just get to do whatever you want and people have to be okay with it. People have to be like, oh, well, you're new at it. Like, you're fine. No, like you are taking women's health into your hands, and so maybe take it seriously, maybe care about what you're doing. And the fact that she like uses passive language of like, I would be stupid not to take advantage of this opportunity. Well, you created the opportunity for yourself. Like, you created this business. So like, nobody threw this in your lap. Like, you pursued it and you chose it, and you chose to run your business in a way where there were legal repercussions of it.
Therefore, I didn't have much guidance. I'm not truly saying this as an excuse.
You had so much money, girl. You could have hired a business coach. Like, hire somebody. I get that you didn't have to do that. You could run this as a one-woman show, but obviously that wasn't working. So hire a mentor, like a coach, whatever it may be. Outsource some of this work. So that way, yeah, you're spending some of your money, you're cutting into your profits, but you're providing a better experience for your customers.
To my actions, but to give you all a much needed explanation as to why certain things happened the way that they did and fell through the cracks. At times, it got extremely overwhelming, and I took on more than I should have. And for that, I take full responsibility, and I am sorry.
Thank you.
I am so, so sorry from the bottom of my heart, but know that I am human.
I just love how we start out this video by her issuing an apology to those people who felt like they got scammed. I know I'm beating a dead horse here. Bad choice of words considering her history of neglecting her horse Harley. I am saying the same thing over and over again. You sold a product and did not deliver on it, but that's what it is. Like, that is the facts of the scenario. You ran your business in such a way that the state of Texas decided to sue you for it. This is not people feeling scammed or like being upset that you were overwhelmed. You sold something under false pretenses, essentially. Like, you were sued for deceptive business practices. That's what it is. This is a factual thing. And at this point, when she's doing this apology video, obviously she had not been sued at the time, so she's probably trying to minimize things as best she can. But it's like, this is not you taking full accountability, because you're not truly admitting what's happened. Like, you're not admitting the reality of the situation. You're being like wishy-washy and being like, well, I'm sorry you felt that way. But also, think about me.
And along with that, I have an incredibly big heart for people and a passion for what I do. When I was offered the opportunity to help women all around the world, I
don't know what offered the opportunity means. You created this opportunity for yourself by starting your own business.
Jumped into this head first to something that at that time hadn't been quite tapped into yet. Instagram was still very new, as was the influencer world, and I just happened to be one of the first to see the opportunity laying right in front of me. As I said, looking back, I had no guidance in how to run my business as a fitness influencer, much less on how to respond to negative comments aimed towards myself or towards my business.
Okay, and so whose fault is that? Maybe not fault. Fault might not be the right word, but you don't know what you don't know. And so if you are sitting here being like, I don't know what to do in this scenario, as a business owner, what do? Do you just say like, well, I'm sure it'll be fine. Let me delete this stuff and we'll see what happens? Or do you say, hey, I'm in uncharted waters here. How do I make sure I'm running my business well? How do I make sure that this has longevity and that I'm doing right by my customers? Hire help. Like, hire somebody to help you. Seek out a mentor. Like, do something. Reach out to fellow influencers and be like, hey, what are you doing? How are you handling this? Like, do something to try and make sure that you are running your business in an ethical way and taking care of your customers. There's no excuse of, well, this was a new market and so there was no precedent. Okay, well, if you're the trailblazer here, set a high standard for yourself and for everyone else who follows you, because you're taking people's health into your own hands.
I was not only a coach, but also the sole content creator, customer service, business owner, YouTuber, financial advisor, and everything else that comes with every business. I now realize that I should have had more help, and that this is a lesson that I am having to now learn the hard way, and for that, again, I am sorry. But like I said, when you are passionate and set on fire for what you love, helping women, it's easy to fall into the mindset of, I can do it all on my own. I want to make this right. Not so that the harassment will stop, but although I really hope that one day it will, but because I realize how much this has impacted you guys. I want to address each of your concerns about your experience while working with me. With that being said, I created an email specifically addressing all complaints, and I will list this email down in the description box below. Please email me with your name, the email you originally used to work with me, and your proof of purchase or receipt. I will address it as quickly as possible. Any comments below will also be handled via email so that
I will send you an NDA as quick as possible, and then maybe I'll give you a partial refund.
We can talk through your experience and work with me. Months previous to this, I had actually been in contact to resolve an issue with a sweet girl who was a previous client of mine. She had brain cancer at one point in time. We talked through things, and now I am so incredibly blessed to call her a friend. The only reason that I bring this up is to make a point that, in fact, does show that I, as a business owner, am doing things to the best of my ability to resolve any issues that may arise.
No, you're using it to be like, think about this girl. Like, she had cancer and she's forgiven me and we're friends. So, like, you shouldn't be mad at me. If she's not mad at me, you can't be mad at me. I was nice to somebody who at one point had cancer. And I don't know the details of this woman. Sweet girl is very, like, infantilizing. This customer who was upset with the product she received from you, you are bringing this up to gain sympathy points. There's no other reason for it. It's not like, well, let me show you what I'm doing to make it right. Because if it was, you would tell us. Like, what exactly did you do? What steps did you take? How did you choose her over other people? Because other people were already reaching out with complaints. And so they didn't have their issue resolved. How did she get your attention? Like, tell us the details.
As an influencer, I understand that I have the full responsibility to show up even through the threats and the harassment. I would please ask that all death threats and all other threats are once and for all put to an end. I would also ask for you to please leave my family and my friends alone. Again, I am sincerely sorry for any harm that I have caused anyone, and I hope that I can do what it takes to make things right.
Okay, again, bringing it up, feel bad for me. People have said this to me. And again, death threats are awful and out of line, and absolutely nobody should be receiving death threats. At the same time, though, that happening is like separate from the fact that you should be taking accountability and should be trying to make things right for your customers. And I think about Jesse and Lily from the Do We Know Them podcast, how they've said, like, we've been on the internet forever. We've all gotten our fair share of death threats. And, like, they understand, you know, there's a difference between people being, like, out of pocket or just, like, shooting off at the mouth, kind of, like, just saying dumb stuff to you because of whatever their issue is, and, like, making an empty threat versus a credible threat. They're like, you can kind of tell. Like, people say horrible stuff to you on the internet all the time. And so we've gotten our fair share of death threats, and like, they have a very nonchalant attitude about it because they do have just like such a long history on the internet. And so I'm sure it's like scary to have somebody threaten you. I am sure that like that is something super overwhelming and like, whoa, what is happening here? Like, I'm scared. I don't like that you said this. This feels threatening and intimidating to me. But like, I do think you can pretty quickly tell, like, if you are a content creator, she at this point has over like 500,000 followers on YouTube. I don't know how many she had at the time. I don't know if she had more or less at the time that this was created, because right now she has like 500,000 followers, but she gets like between 15 and 50,000 views per video that she puts out. So I'm not sure if like her channel has grown since this happened, or if those are people who followed her at this time and then just never unsubscribed but don't watch her current stuff. But it's like, you can tell pretty quickly like when somebody is just thinking of like a horrible, awful thing to say to you because they like have no self-control, or they are just like upset about something else, or they are unhappy with their own lives and they think that they can say whatever they want on the internet and nobody's going to come back and like push back against them. So like, you can tell that versus people who truly have an issue with you. And so maybe this is the first time that she's experiencing it on this scale. But regardless of all of that, you don't get to say, some people were mean to me, because I don't think she got an overwhelming amount of death threats. Just my opinion. I think the majority of the feedback she probably got was people who were genuinely upset because they felt they had been wronged, and they had been wronged. Like, we can say this. We can say she wronged her customers. So I think that the majority of the people who were reaching out to her were those people who had been wronged, or people who were like, I can't believe you did this to your customers. What do you have to say for yourself? I am sure she got a small section of people saying horrible, awful things to her, but I doubt that they were the majority. And so it's like, yes, address it. Please don't send that to me. Please stop saying those things. But like, somebody who's going to send a death threat on the internet isn't going to hear you say, hey, I'm sorry, please stop doing this, and be like, you're right. You're right. Let me rein it in. They're just not going to respond to like logic. So I feel like she's saying this and bringing it up because most people who are going to watch this are like empathetic people. They're not cold, callous, heartless human beings. They're going to hear that she's being threatened or her family and friends are being threatened and be like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for her. And it's going to hopefully, in her mind, make it easier to move on from this because people are too stuck on feeling bad for the threats that she's gotten instead of being like, well, no, like, those aside, you still did this thing wrong.
I don't know what else to say. To be quite honest, my brain is pretty frazzled right now. I wrote this last night.
Sure.
And I just... I promised myself I wasn't going to edit this video, so this is just the real raw. I'm planning on...
But do we think we could have paused the dryer or like waited until the cycle was done? Because what is this? Like, you don't have to edit it, but like, do it in a second take. Nobody has to know that that's your second take. If you're listening to this and you're hearing the dryer going in the background, why are you not thinking like, this is not okay. I cannot post this. This cannot be my apology that shows I am so careless as to have this dryer running in the background and be like, well, it's one take. It's fine.
Posting this tonight.
And that's the thing. It's like an 8-minute video. You can take another 8 minutes and re-record this.
I don't really know what else there is to say. I am so sorry, and I am sorry for anyone that feels hurt or scammed by anything of this nature. That was never my intentions. Like I said, my intentions have always been pure. My heart is for people. My heart is for women. Sure. And to help. And sometimes as a business owner, when things take off, when you're young, this was years ago.
It was not.
You think you can do it all. And now, knowing now...
Okay, again, this is something that she's saying very intentionally to try and distance herself from what she did. It was years ago. It was forever ago. It was in the past. I don't even know why we're bringing it up now. I'm so sorry if you felt hurt. That was never my intention. Like, she is trying to do everything she can to avoid taking full accountability while saying outright, I'm taking full accountability. But this was years ago, and I was overwhelmed, and I was the first to do this. Like, this is a brand new territory, so nobody knows what they're doing. I had this opportunity, and I ran with it. No, it was not years ago. It may have started years ago, but people were still to that day reaching out, being like, hey, I am unsatisfied with the product you gave me for XYZ reasons.
If I knew what I know now back then, would have saved me a lot of problems. But I am here now, years later, having...
And you probably could have, like, actually helped people. But yeah, it's about you and the problems that you could have avoided if you had run your business ethically.
To apologize and wanting to apologize and asking for your forgiveness to move forward and learning from my past mistakes. Like I said, the email is going to be listed in the description box below, but I really hope that this just puts everything to rest one last and final time. Yeah, just please ask for you guys to leave my family and my friends out of this, and for the death threats to stop.
Bringing them up
in the past 24 hours, I have literally received hundreds of death threats, and that is just absolutely unacceptable at this point. I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry. I am a human. I am a human being just trying to be in this world just like anyone else, and I make mistakes. And that's what this video is here to do, to address it, to say that I am sorry, I realize I messed up, and I'm moving forward. And I just hope that you guys can appreciate the fact that I'm showing up yet again to be extremely vulnerable, and this is extremely difficult to do, and I'm doing it, and I just want to make things right. Yeah. I think that's it. Okay. Wow.
Man, I forgot how much of that video is just like, you guys are doing wrong. You guys who are watching this are doing wrong. I'm sorry if you felt scammed, but like, I'm here, I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve, and I hope you appreciate what I'm doing for you. And again, you need to leave my family and friends out of it. Like, yes, of course. Again, death threats are not okay. Absolutely not okay. Don't support it. People should not be doing that. However, I again do not think that the majority of people who were reaching out to her were reaching out to give her death threats. I'm sure she got them and they were overwhelming, and she probably was not happy. Like, I can't imagine somebody seeing a death threat and being like, no big deal. I'm sure it was jarring for her. But that doesn't absolve her of what she did. Like, you cannot use other people saying bad things to you to get out of what you did to your customers and your fans and people who trusted you with their health. It's such a trip to see that video, knowing everything that we know now, because at the time I was not super familiar with Brittany Dawn. Like, at the time that this happened and she put the apology out, I really didn't know who she was other than her collaboration with Shane Dawson. And I was like, I feel like she's not genuine. Like, I don't feel like this is really like a heartfelt apology. I think it's her trying to get out of trouble. Like, I just think it's an apology for the sake of being like, well, I apologized. What else do you want from me? And now, several years later, we've seen all of the other like iterations of Brittany, and we saw her go away and come back as a religious influencer. And I think she uses a lot of the same tactics and like same phrasings and approaches that she did at this time, but they're a lot more transparent now because it's like, well, we've seen you. Like, we've seen how you behave and how you address things and like how you want to villainize people giving you genuine criticism. It makes me think of like when, just for one example, when Nico was found on the construction site, abandoned, emaciated, like very, very ill with a skin condition, like super, super sick. And people were like, hey, can we talk about this? Like, that was your dog. And she was like, I rehomed him to a family, so I didn't abandon him. But of course, it's the internet, and so nobody wants to talk about that. And it's like, this was your dog. Most people, even if a dog didn't work out for them, even if it worked, if you got a dog and you wanted to have them and you were so excited and then they just were not a good fit for your family and you had to rehome them. Most people, if that dog was later found abandoned, would be like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. How can I help? Especially people who have money. Maybe Brittany doesn't have as much money now because of the lawsuit and because of some of her, like the fact that she still makes money through social media, but probably a lot less now than she did at like the height of her fame. But it's like, you're a public figure. Even if you truly do not care about this dog, you know how people feel about you. You know how your actions come across to the internet at large. Why would you not just be like, hey, I gave up this dog. I didn't do it in the best way. Now this dog was abandoned. How can I make it right? How can I make it so people aren't mad at me? Let's say that that's her motivation of how can I address this so people aren't mad at me? It would be, what can I do to help? Is there a GoFundMe? Can I donate to the person who found him? I feel horrible. I really thought I could trust this family and I thought that it was going to be amazing, and they should have contacted me. I would have taken him back. Say whatever you want. But she literally, like, at every turn has to be the persecuted victim. Nothing's ever her fault. Everything happens to her. Brittany doesn't have bad results because of her own actions. She is just a victim of the circumstance. Circumstance 5 years ago, spiritual warfare now. Like, everything happens to her, and she's just out here trying her best to live a godly life, and the internet doesn't like it, and the world doesn't like it, and Satan doesn't like it. So it's just very interesting to watch this in retrospect. But that was Brittany Dawn's now deleted apology video, the original. That is all I've got for today. Thank you again to Red Flamingo 22 for sending that to me, and thank you to the person who posted it on Reddit for capturing this piece of history and allowing us to all see it several years later. I am so interested to hear your thoughts on this. If you watched this video when it first came out and now you're seeing it again several years later, I would love to know what your original thoughts were and how you feel about it now. And if this is your first time seeing this and hearing it, I'm so curious to know also what you think about it. So if you want to leave your comments in the comment section down below, if you're watching this on YouTube, or in the comment section for this episode, if you are listening to the podcast on Spotify, that would be amazing. And while you're doing that, if you would consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel or leaving the podcast a rating and a review, that would be incredible too. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.